This video is sponsored by you. Links for the channel are in the description, along with the Discord, which you should join. Also, once again, if you want to buy Arknights packs without spending too much money, I present you Lootbar, the most affordable marketplace to purchase packs in gacha games, with coupons for new users, featuring both Arknights, as well as the other gacha games you might play too. All in all, adding up all coupons together, it's a 23% discount. The site is safe, with a ton of good reviews, and the delivery is fast, if not instant in the case of Arknights, since they have a built-in emulator to log in and buy stuff directly. All login info is then erased afterwards. Use the links in the description and pinned comment to get yourself some packs. Hello there, Arknights' most hated YouTuber here, once again. Oh my fucking god. Look, if you are an astute viewer, you may have figured out with your keen insight that I don't really like the Ave Mujica collab. But fine, when it comes to the actual operators and how they exist in the gameplay, I have to admit Sakiko is good. She's pretty handily the best lane holder in the game right now, makes IS-6 entirely trivial, and is perhaps the first operator to pull off mixed damage as it was intended, rather than be gimped by it. She is great against all enemies regardless of their stats. Sakiko is a pretty damn amazing unit. I cannot say the same for the 5 stars, as they are perhaps the single biggest noob trap in the entire game, and the way these units were gassed up on their release 6 months ago makes my blood boil. Let's open a very brief parenthesis on the Ave Mujica 5 stars as their own units. All of them have a fever mechanic. Fever buffs the next skill activation by a lot. All band members activate their skills at once, and it doesn't consume any SP to do so. Oh, and also they are immortal during fever mode, because every new operator needs some sort of immortality or revival effect, I guess. Examined in a vacuum, from best to worst, Wakaba, the doll keeper, is at the top of the list by virtue of being entirely inoffensive. She even has a unique gimmick where her doll can block. Skill 1 makes her a tank, which plays into doll keeper's innate ability to be good tanks, and skill 2 just makes her deal pretty okay DPS. Misumi also is just inoffensive. She's an okay buffer and an okay healer. Her heals always prioritize Sakiko, which is kinda funny. Yahata is where we start getting really bad. As her own standalone unit, she is arguably worse than Kirara. Her skill 1 has an SP cost of 4, but offensive recovery, meaning really it's more like 14. And her skill 2 has the same issue, with an auto SP cost of 40, to just apply fear once for 1.5 seconds, slow and deal some damage. Her main issue is the SP costs. The vast majority of the time she's a sitting duck, and to properly make use of her statuses she needs the other members. Finally, I am not sure Yūtenji does anything. Both of her skills are just really mid damage. She only exists as a fever battery for the rest of the band members. And that is the main issue with the 5 stars. They only exclusively exist in relation to Sakiko, and have nothing to offer outside of Sakiko. Now, I know I have kind of a reputation for generally disliking synergies, but that is because the vast majority of synergies in this game are Exodia-esque combinations meant to work specifically with each other. In recent times, games, Hyperglyph has shown they can design really good synergistic operators, like the Sui, or Yu, or Nasty, or the Laterano operators, or the Kierag operators. Good synergies exist in this game. The Ave Mujica band, however, is the ultimate embodiment of an Exodia combo, a combo that is only meant to work with incredibly specific pieces and in one incredibly specific way. So, let's analyze the entire band together, since that's how you are intended to use them. So, take a shot every time I say Sakiko here. Once you stop and look at what is happening here, what these units are actually doing, this is not a synergistic team, this is not a synergy. This is a Sakiko buff squad. The 5 stars do not all work together and synergize off each other. They synergize off Sakiko. They all let Sakiko use their ranges. Mifumi buffs Sakiko. Wakaba is a fever generator for Sakiko. Yahata also buffs Sakiko, while being a sub-DPS for the things Sakiko can't instantly murder. And Yūtenji is also fever battery for Sakiko. These units are not synergistic, they are Sakiko's harem, and if you stretch it, Yahata as well, since she'll be the sub-DPS. In other words, you are using 4 squad slots to buff up a unit that in herself is already a fully complete, functional unit that is already the best lane holder in the game without those buffs. The simple truth is everything the 5 stars offer, Sakiko already has a version of it baked into her standalone kit. They are range extensions for a unit who has heat-seeking missiles that extend out of her range. They are buffs for a unit that gets to ignore enemy stats. They are fever batteries for a unit that already generates it without trouble. This is what I mean when I say they are redundant. Everything they offer, Sakiko does on her own. This is not mentioning using all 5 can be outright harmful, as they use up too many deployment slots. There is diminishing returns with each band member that you add. All you will ever need to accompany Sakiko is Yahata and sometimes Wakaba. So, even if we play by lowlights rules and review these units as part of a lesbian polycule haul, 2 of them, Misumi and Yūtenji, are entirely redundant, and Wakaba and Yahata can be dropped in most stages. Like you and Blaze Alter, it's a bad synergy even if you do go out of your way to do it. All you're achieving, in effect, is Sakiko taking up 5 deployment slots on her own. The only 5-star here that squeaks it out is Yahata, because it's only 1 extra deployment slot to have a pretty good sub-DPS to accompany Sakiko. This becomes even more true when you account for integrated strategies, because in integrated strategies, Sakiko's best companion is by far Archetto. So, since you're using Archetto anyway, and Yahata has offensive recovery on skill 1, she ends up being by far the best companion if you happen on a specialist voucher and have the hope to spare. Meanwhile, the others range from mid to unusable on their own, and redundant in the synergy. Ultimately though, I struggle to see this as something worthwhile to actually do, when Sakiko is already so strong and a fully complete unit on her own. You would rather spend those materials on a 6-star rather than the band members. And that's all. Max out your Gummy. Bye. Wow, can you believe it? The video is over. Can you believe it? There's no more video. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, Thank you to all the channel members on screen right now, in particular Lizard King, Ascended Azen, Bar 2D2X, Diamond Dog, Nemotic, Kami I Love Wichadel, Yominest Pasmort, Zoramar's Link, The Long Chef, Jinjing Sentuna, Vinkoching, Ilio, Living Shad, Crayon Box, Efram, The Lord of All Magic, URL Killer, Divius, Kino, Bomb Ninja, Apollo T, QX102, Mr. Lair, Timer Raptor, 1K, Never Far Off, Zephyrinix, Nupo, Kevin McGuire, I Antonio 3, Sebby Stum, San Kenshi, Chromala-chan, 5QTZK, Porato Chibu, Genius Gay Shipper, Selfer 7, Maxio Sess, Camon Hiren, Larmendra, Prancing Peppers, Rajonuk Unio, Yuvune, King of Harems, and that guy with 2 names. Bye.